Thanks for coming by. I'm sure you're very anxious to get out on track. It's taken a lot of effort to get to F1. Congratulations. But the real work starts now. This is...
Claire, motorsports journalist. Nice to meet you. You'll be seeing quite a lot of me throughout the season. So, you had a pretty impressive junior career. How are you feeling about your move into F1? Do you think you have what it takes?
Let's save the questions for a proper interview, shall we? I'm sure you'll have a lot more to talk about once there's been some action on track. I think we could fit you in after FP1 if you're free.
That works for me. I'll grab you the second you finish on the track.
Remember, the relationship you have with the team can be affected by what you say to the media. So be careful. Anyway, it's time to catch up with Carl. He's waiting for you in the data center. Good luck out there today.
Welcome to the data center. Here, we've got access to all kinds of information, including car telemetry, weather, lap times, tyre wear, the list goes on. Plus, we've got a direct link back to the factory, so we're in constant communication with the team there. We need you to regularly feedback about areas of the car that are lacking and help us direct our resources in the most productive way. More effort here equals a quicker car, so it's well worth the effort. Good luck this season. Oh, and make us all look good, okay?
Welcome to your new team. Renault are a championship-winning outfit, and they've been methodically working to get back to those winning ways. Raw talent isn't enough here. This is a team that values someone who can dedicate themselves completely to achieving their goals. Here you can see the pertinent details about your current contract. On one side are the objectives and bonuses that we've negotiated with the team. On the other is information regarding how you're perceived throughout the paddock, your reputation with the current team, and your overall value to them, which is a combination of these elements. Winning rivalries is a great way to earn respect from your team and around the paddock, which will help make it easier to negotiate favorable contracts. Your first rival is always your teammate, but you can choose who to declare as your second. The harder the rival from the eligible selection, the more respect you stand to gain or lose depending on the result.
We're about to join the action in what is sure to be an interesting practice session here in Melbourne. It's not long until we get the session underway and we'll have some cars appearing out on the track. Welcome then to all our viewers and of course to Anthony Davidson as well. Now Ant, I wanted to ask you, obviously there's a lot of hard work involved in these sessions, a lot of simulations as well. Is this something that drivers enjoy or is it just a routine that becomes a chore?
There's nothing routine about driving a Formula 1 car, I can tell you that. 300 kilometres per hour down the straights, 4G through the corners. It's hard to ignore those forces acting on your body. It's lap after lap of hard, exhausting work. You always enjoy driving these cars. It's a real privilege. Although I must say, if you're having a day where you can't get the car to do what you want and it's generally underperforming, then it's a lot harder to stay motivated. But never a chore, no. Even if you're having a tough start to the weekend, at this point you know that if you work hard at it, there's still an opportunity to turn things around. In the unforgiving world of Formula 1, free practice sessions are a vital part of any Grand Prix weekend. During your F1 career, you'll be able to utilise these sessions to complete practice programmes which will help you learn the track and earn you points that can be invested in developing your car. You'll also be able to adjust your car setup over the course of these sessions to try and find those extra fractions of a second.
Morning, Jeff here. I'm looking forward to working with you as your race engineer. Hope you've had a At some point before qualifying, let's get our track acclimatisation programme complete. It'll help us identify any specific problem areas on the circuit. Your goal is to get through as many corner gates as quickly and precisely as possible. Okay, test complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out. And a job well done. We got some excellent data.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top three: Hamilton, Raikkonen and Roman Grosjean. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula One. You must be thrilled. So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in? What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula One, or do you see something more? Great! Well, that's everything.
Test complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
An interesting practice. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are Ricciardo, Renault and Kimi Raikkonen. That concludes an interesting practice session. Let's hope for more excitement as the weekend unfolds. Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
Lap puts you into P8.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three. Hamilton, Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel. It's time to leave for now, but we'll be back tomorrow when the Grand Prix itself gets underway. New drivers, new cars and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21-race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Vettel, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Renault, Grosjean, Ocon, and Kevin Magnussen, Alonso, Van Dorn, Brendan Hartley, and Gasly, Leclerc, Hulkenberg. They've taken a grid penalty. Marcus Ericsson and Lance Stroll, Sirotkin and Sergio Perez rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, we qualified higher than we were anticipating. Let's see if we can do just as well in the race. Put the clutch in. Hold it there till the start. Okay, our system checked. The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights. Start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you. We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the super softs. Battery charge is low. If we turn down the ERS deployment, we can harvest more energy. New strategy is available on the MFD. Got that confirmed? Go, go. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. The gap behind us is 6.1 seconds. Okay, we need some energy harvesting. Reduce ERS deployment. Some information on Stroll. They are out of the race. Okay, gap ahead is 2.3 seconds. Battery charge is low. If we turn down the ERS deployment, we can harvest more energy. This is your final lap of the race. Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, Ant, apart from the pack today.
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Sergio Perez. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Ferrari moved to the top of the table. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Great. Well, that's everything.
Great work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up. We've received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend.
It's time for a well-deserved rest from the championship for a classic exhibition event today. It's winner takes all, so who will emerge on top in this unique challenge?
Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1. I recommend we could go for something like this.